Hi y'all, welcome back. This is Gabian living in his car. I'm sorry my video is a little bit late this week. I got the COVID, and it's real and it's real bad. So I was gonna be a little bit late. I'm not gonna be able to do my comic book reviews or anything like that this week. But I just wanted to hop in and tell you a good story about loving and kindness, and I think people need to hear about this time of year. They should practice it all times of year, but this time of year, I wanted to tell you about it. And also, it's a story about how I got my guitar, and it's a real good one. So I just wanted to drop in and tell you this little story while I'm trying to heal up from this COVID. So to get started, this was back in about May. I was living in my car. I just got done being blind from all the alcohol drinking. And so my eyes would hurt me. I could see a little, but the sunlight would really, give me a headache a lot, because my eyes weren't used to it yet. So, but I got to do laundry. You can't stink. So I put a load in the wash, and I came back and I got this real bad headache, and I had the windows down, get some airflow, the wind blowing through, feels nice. And I was sitting there with my head back, just with my eyes closed, and I heard this beautiful music, and there was this gentleman playing this guitar over in front on the bench in front of the laundromat, and he was playing the most beautiful music, and so my headache, it just instantly went away. Now at this point, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know if I wanted to be a musician. I didn't know anything about playing any instruments or anything like that. So he really excited me about that, and I got out and I wanted to talk to him about his guitar. And if you hear a little kitty noise, that's Yard Kitty. Yard Kitty came to say hi, everybody. So I went up to him, I sat next to him on his bench, I waited for him to play his pretty song, and as soon as he was done, he's the nicest guy, he introduced himself. He's like, "Hey, I'm Jose Cinco," or actually it was Juan Cinco. He's like, "Hey, I'm Juan Cinco," and good old Juan, he's a good guy. And me and him got to talking, and he talked to me about where I'm at, what I'm doing. I told him all about all the mess I was in, and he told me, I asked him, I said, you play really pretty music. That's really cool how you can play all that. What got you started into that? And I said, I really like your guitar. And he said, well, let me tell you, I've been have music in my life my entire life. So, he said, but I got a story to tell you about this guitar if you want to hear it. And I said, oh yeah, I want to hear about this guitar. So he was telling me about, he lived up in New York. He was born and raised in New York. Him and his brother had a guitar shop, and they had a bunch of homeless people walking around and stuff. They like to, I believe it's Carlos Cinco and Juan Cinco. So Carlos, he loved to cook. His thing was cooking. He loved to cook. So he would make up a mess of tacos every morning, wrap them up, and then every morning, but when they opened up the store, we would go and he would hand them out to all the local homeless people around on the street and stuff, because he can't eat all them tacos, but he loved to cook them. So he's a real good guy too, I'm sure, and never really met Carlos yet, but so anyway, one day they were giving out tacos, and there's this new guy there, and he's got his head in his hands, and he was there, and he was looking real upset. And then so Carlos went up to him, and he's like, "Hey brother, you want a taco?" So the gentleman said, "Oh, I think I might like that." And so he's like, "Oh, that's a nice accent you got. Where are you from?" And so the guy goes, it's like, oh me, I'm just a lad from Liverpool. And knowing music, Juan, instantly it snapped. He's like, hey, I know you. You're from the Beatles. He said, hey, I know you. You're from the Beatles. And then and he's like, yeah, I'm John Lennon. And so he met John Lennon sitting there, with his head in his hands and feeling all upset. And he gave him a taco, and he says, he's like, hey man, you look really upset. You want to talk about it? And and of course John Lennon was like, oh yeah, I guess I could do that. And so he told him about how him and he was living in New York, of course, had a penthouse there at the time. It was back in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. And he said that him and his girlfriend, they got in a fight. They've been fighting a lot lately. Yoko Ono was her name. I'm sure you're aware of Yoko Ono. Well, they got in a little fight there, and he was kind of upset about it. It wasn't, he's tired of getting all of these fights. So Carlos was like, whenever I'm upset, there's something that I like to say, and I'd like to say that to you, and maybe it will help you get better. And so, of course, John Lennon was like, oh yeah, I'd like that very much. So Carlos told him this little rhyme that he said, let me think about how it goes. I think it goes, taco, taco, taco pie. A fly can't bird, but a bird can fly. Ask me a riddle, I will reply. Taco, taco, taco pie. And he said every time he said that, it gave him, put him in a good mood, and it made him happy. And sure enough, John Lennon, he's like, oh, I quite like that. And so he got up after eating his tacos, and they had a little chat, and he was feeling much better. You could tell. Juan said that he's feeling a lot better. So he went off, and Juan and Carlos, they felt pretty good, and they ran their shop just like a normal day. Well, the next morning, he came into his shop, and John Lennon he was the first customer, and he came in, and he had this guitar, and he said, oh, hello folks. And then Juan and Carlos are like, hey man. And they're like, hey John, how are you, John? And then so they had a little talk, and John Lennon really liked, he really wanted to come and appreciate, telling him that rhyme, giving him that taco, just showing him a little bit of love and kindness. It really opened his heart, and he really felt a lot better about it. So he gave him this guitar right here. And so that's how he came to get this guitar, and they never saw John again. The last time they heard, about a week or two later, they heard on the news that John Lennon got shot in New York, and I'm sure you all know about John Lennon getting shot in New York. So Juan gave me this guitar, and he said, he's like, hey man, you look really down, and you look like you need something. And because he knew about my, alcoholism, blindness, and everything after, after we've been talking for a while. So it's like, I tell you what, I'm gonna give you this guitar. You take good care of this guitar, and it's gonna make you feel better. You learn to play that guitar. And so I said, yeah, of course. And I was real excited at the time, because I just, I had a new sense of life, after hearing him play his guitar, hearing the story. I always liked the Beatles, didn't listen to them a whole lot, but I tell you what, this last summer I've been listening to a lot of the Beatles songs, and they're really something else. So I've been listening to a bunch of Beatles, and I've been practicing this guitar. Every once in a while I'll see Juan Cinco at the laundromat, whenever I do laundry, but I hadn't seen him in a couple weeks, so I hope he's all right. And he said that Carlos, he got taken by these ICE agents, and we're not going to get into that very much, but he said that they're holding him ransom for like $5,000. And so like the next time I was at my laundromat, I was sure to have some money on me, because I wanted to give him a little gift for giving me his guitar and making me really happy. And I think it would make him happy too, having his brother back. So I gave him $5,000 for the guitar. I mean, it belonged to John Lennon, for God's sake. So I gave him $5,000, and he got his brother out from the clutches of them ICE folk, and then and they're doing pretty good right now, as far as I can tell. So a little bit of kindness goes a long way, folks. That's the story I'm going to tell you, because this guitar really kind of saved my life. I might have turned back to alcohol if I didn't have something to lean on. So I just want to tell everybody, no matter what time of year or anything like that, I know it's the holidays and that's what it's on people's minds and stuff. But no matter what, you just do a little bit of kindness, you know. Don't even think about it, just do it. And then, I mean, there's no reason not to. If it's not hurting you, it's not going to hurt anybody else, just giving them something, right? So anyway, I wanted to share that while I'm getting over this sickness, this COVID, and I'm gonna get better here. I'm gonna pull through, and I've been doing all right. And I apologize for being a little bit late. Next time I'm gonna have some comic books I'm gonna review for you, so get that ball rolling. So just like and subscribe, folks, and I'll see you next time. All right, y'all take care.